as well. So Taliyah instantly locked in for LGD.
Yeah, so it's a flex pick, and obviously that's some of the value of it. But here's one of the things: is because V5 banned essentially 2 counter pick top laners and the Draven, which is a target ban. A lot of the picks, as you said, that we normally see taken away are left open. And since they're on red side, sure, they give it the Taliyah, but they can take that Wukong in response. They can even look towards the Kalista if they want to the Senna. They have their choice on those really strong AD carries. Because so much is open, they have a lot to choose here. And technically, this Wukong is also a flex. We have seen the Wukong Senna played in the bot lane, so still that ability to go for that if they so want to. But now, LGD to answer. May well see the Viego to match this Wukong if they want to reveal the Taliyah flex. But for now, it looks like they're going to pick up the other end of that AD carry trade that we talked about being so powerful.
It's the comfort, right? And this is exactly what I wanted to see for LGD, for Assum, is to get some of that comfort under his belt. Get the Kalista, who we've seen, he's already been on it a couple times in his first series as well. So I like to see that for LGD. They also picked up the Nautilus with it. A lot of engage there for JinJiao to have a steady hand and control of the bottom lane itself. But Tahm Kench does get locked in for V5, and that V5 draft is looking terrifying at this point, as they do also ban away the Swain.
Yeah, and the Tahm makes a lot of sense. I feel like with Senna, you can pair so many things, but when they're playing this aggressive bot lane, having that safety net of Tahm Kench goes a long way. Now, in the second set of bans, you can see for the Swain, V5 are still very much aware this Taliyah could be flexed. But I feel like if you're going to play that AP jungler, you would need an AD mid. Be interested to see what Yeji would bring out in that situation. But for now, Swain taking off the cards. LGD ban away the Kale, concerned about the potential counter pick. See if they opt to ban. They could go for the GP as well as something that Rich could potentially take either 4th pick or as that final counter pick. But ultimately, probably going to see the mid come out on 4 for V5, depending on what's left open though.
And it is the Sejuani towards the top. We've been seeing it float around the top side a decent amount there as well. Speaking of the top side, though, as we're going to be getting to the next picks and bans, I'm really excited to see Rich in this summer split, right? And V5 coming off a win already. But Rich himself coming off an incredible spring split here. I'm really excited as he's going to be whipping out the GP this time around. And that's going to be a fun one to keep an eye out on, Alex.
Yeah, so GP makes a lot of sense. So many top laners banned away. I mean, I say so many, but mainly it's the fact that the Gwen and the Kale are, so feel uncomfortable to take this one. I'd be interested to see if Fearness opts to take something to try and counter, and he actually goes for the Renekton, interestingly enough. So something that, I mean, in theory, could actually be flex mid as well. They do kind of need an AD mid if they're going to put that Taliyah in the jungle. But opting away from that, it seems, and going for the Azir. So AP mid jungle does mean your mid jungle is a bit weaker, very easy to itemize against that. And also Taliyah, Azir, not the strongest combo, but Shadow does have side lanes he can play around. There's obviously the CC setup bot, there's the CC setup in the top lane, although the oranges might make it a bit difficult to land that. But this composition for LGD, I feel like really needs to find some momentum in this game where they're going to struggle. And V5, they commit to a strong mid jungle. The LeBlanc, Wukong. LeBlanc, a tricky matchup at times for the Azir to deal with. Can definitely close the gap on him. It's hard to use your Empress Divide against her because she is such a trickster. And they have a lot of scaling elements with that Senna, with that GP in the top lane. So I think V5 more than happy with what happened in this draft phase. LGD, they need to come out the gate strong.
Yeah, they really do. And that's where I'm exactly putting my pinpoint on Shadow, on this Taliyah, because I think the pick itself is very interesting, right? Immediately grabbing it there on blue side as the first pickup for them and feeling confident in that fact. Well, we need to see some of that confidence here, and I'm looking at Shadow to really represent that. I think on the other side, though, right, you're talking about the scaling, a little bit of comfort in that aspect as well, but I'm very, very excited to see XLB on the Wukong, this jungler who in the LPL, Wukong has been so ridiculous in just the way that he can play the game, the way that it fits the LPL playstyle as well. And so that's definitely what I'm looking at early on. I still think you have to talk a little bit about the solo lanes, though, and looking at what we have. I know you were mentioning the LeBlanc versus the Azir and some matchups in that aspect of it, but I do want to go back towards this top side and look at Fearness versus Rich, because we did get a Renekton in here, which we didn't really highlight too much, but I find it as maybe not the greatest pick, but it could work out for, Fearness on the top side this time.
I love how optimistic you are.
I am. I like the crocodilian, okay? Because it's fun to say.
maybe not the greatest pick, isn't what I would say. So, I mean, one of the things is Renekton was already struggling prior to the durability change, just because the way he'd been nerfed, the way the itemization changes had hit him when we saw Sterak's and Gordrink had changed. So he wasn't in the greatest spot. And then we got the durability changes, and his whole job of being able to like burst someone out became so much harder. And he really suffered, and to the point that he actually got hotfixed in 12.10 because he suffered so heavily after the durability changes. Like, you know, setting up those dives, one of the things Renekton could be so good at, you know, stacking the wave, stunning, allowing things like Taliyah, Nidalee to follow up, just isn't as effective now with the towers being so strong. So he was hotfix buffed. He should be able to apply some pressure to Rich in the laning phase, but ultimately, as long as Rich isn't getting like bodied in this matchup, he's going to be completely fine just scaling.
Yeah, exactly. And I think I want to go back to that, right? I was foreshadowing to it a little bit, but we got to talk about Rich himself, right? Like,
I see what we did there.
Yeah.
Foreshadowing.
Exactly. We're going to be puns all night, baby. Puns all night. But Rich himself, right? Like coming off a banging spring split here, it's really one of these moments where like it's terrifying because Rich himself has shown that he can show out against some of the best talent.
No, Mazel, stop. We got to focus on what's on the screen. We're getting a human swap.
We are getting human swaps.
Yeah, they put Fearness in the mid lane. The LeBlanc, you know, you actually can get prior against her because you can just walk in the wave, pop your Q and stuff. And also the LeBlanc, you should just be able to outstain a lot of her early poke. Might be tricky later. But going for the Azir in the top lane, so having that range matchup to apply pressure. And, you know, we also get flashes trade in the bot lane. JinJiao, he has Hex Flash. He's fine making this trade with the Senna, and they are going so hard level 1 in this matchup.
And that's what you need to do. That's what we wanted. You got to get a little bit of that aggression under your belt here, and Assum doing just that with some of those Rens. JinJiao himself having some great engages there, has the Hex Flash back up, goes right back in for the engages, and ppgod having some trouble staying alive down here as the Ren does come out, sub 200 health, but XLB on his way to provide some pressure relief.
Yeah, I mean, they're going so aggressive. This just gives you a window.
Oh, no, they're stepping forward at the worst time. Do they get ppgod, though? Who's going to get first blood? It is going to go to ppgod. As, oh, my goodness, it turns around completely. And that is a huge one as both the bottom laners for LGD will bite the dust in V5 up 2-1.
Yeah, double kill for XLB, massive. And actually, if you look at the wave state, they go wave on the side of LGD, so Photic should be able to manage this one quite effectively. Assum going to lose so much in this situation, and it does look like we have a little bit of a bug with the scoreboard. You can see 0 CS across the board. Not quite the actual case, but Assum will be missing out a decent amount of farm and experience there. Oh.
Okay, he gets the little slice and dice out for Fearness, but this is what I want to see from XLB. You're on the Wukong. You got to be aggressive in these kinds of moments and not let LGD get anywhere, really. We'll look at a replay of that last fight, though, and the 3 kills, I guess, that went down in our first trade.
Yeah, I mean, Assum took so much damage in the earlier trades trying to find these opportunities. XLB, perfect timing to come for this gank. Instead of clearing up towards his top side, alters it because he sees how aggressive LGD's bot lane is being. And, you know, it's such an easy cleanup for him. 2 kills in the bag, massive reward. But now they're looking for a dive. Risky business.
This is a bit risky. You were talking about not looking for the dives early. Well, JinJiao might have realized that a little bit too late. Nice little knockback from Shadow. Will save the day here. Force V5 to back off, but that was a close one.
Yeah, the TP coming in from Dream kind of forces him away, but honestly, I think LGD fans could be happy that the TP came in because very much potential for that dive to go wrong just with how much damage the towers do, and the fact that JinJiao was probably going to be the one who takes aggro, and he was level 2, would have quickly been DPS down by that tower. Do you see Shadow trying to find something in the bot lane? He may just be trying to help them crash the wave in, but ultimately Photic and ppgod playing it pretty safe. There's a cannon on the side of LGD, so they don't really have any reason to push up in this lane.
Waiting and baiting, trying to get a little bit of fishing going on here for Shadow. JinJiao forces the X-Flash into it. The knockback actually connects. The CC is there, but ppgod's got some great health here. Assum with the re-engage. Oh my god, they actually get him. It's a trade back. Photic gets his own kill afterwards. Photic might get another one. Photic is getting in some trouble here, though. Fearness is on his way down. The root does connect onto Shadow, but Photic is sticking around. He needs to be careful. The knockback comes through as well. Photic is all left out and all dead as he will fall to Fearness. He picks up his first kill of the game, and LGD tie it up.
Man, this is what I'm talking about with the LPL, right? These other regions have seen slower gameplay. We get none of that, and LGD committing so heavily. Durability who they know that the bot lane needs to go favorably for LGD's 2v2. The fact that there was that early gang from XLB means they are heavily investing here. And ultimately, ppgod ends up thinking, you know, I'm probably safe here. Gets caught by the seismic shove. The CC gets layered a bit. And then it's just the burst damage that comes through. Great health was used a little bit early. I think that is one of my criticisms. But then he's left alone. Assum does take a ton of damage, but Photic, when you have the Renekton roaming down, remember that LeBlanc did have to TP earlier. So wasn't in the lane to defend. And I mean, yeah, there's just nothing Photic can do here.
Right on the edge of that seismic shove. Oh my goodness, it was so close. But we will still see LGD strike back onto it. Dream in some trouble in the mid lane. Not having the greatest time against said Crocodilian, but XLB and Rich combine powers to try and take down Fearness here. He does use the slice and dice. XLB getting very low. Shadow's here now as well. The chain flashed away by Fearness. Nothing gonna come of it, just a couple summoner spells.
You see that early power from the Renekton though, just able to pretty much burst out XLB after already having used that ult to zone away Dream from a big wave. And you can see the switch up, putting the Renekton in the mid lane, having that early prio, having that stronger mid jungle.
There we go. Look, LGD is combining yet again. Slice and dice in. Fearness gets another kill for himself. ppgod gets out with the abyssal dive, but LGD are striking strong here.
I mean, they've put Yeji in the top lane, so he's just farming up. 20 CS lead at the moment, although Rich should be able to pick up some of that farm.
Yeah,
and this bot side of the map is so strong in these skirmishes. The point and click CC of the Renekton combined with the Taliyah, the Nautilus being able to set it up as well. And Shadow is finding these seismic shoves. 0-0-3 so far. Pretty high kill participation. They're going to be able to translate that into a dragon as well. It's a positive start. I said LGD needed to hit the ground running, and that is what they've been doing so far.
They have indeed, as the first dragon will also go to Shadow and Co. Right now, for me, what's sticking out the most is the human swap, as you said, and the fact that we do get to see such a big advantage gained by Fearness in this mid lane now against Dream, and they are utilizing that pressure, right? I think that is such an integral part to this game so far early on, is how quickly we're seeing the teams collapse, right? We were seeing V5 attempt stuff in mid lane to try it while LGD was pushing in there, but continuing to see LGD respond in kind is what we want to continue seeing, actually, from LGD themselves.
That's the hope, and it's all about continuing that momentum. They have prio mid, they have prio top, have prio on the bot lane. Just keep that momentum going, and they are going to be setting up for this Herald now. They don't bring the bot lane up, but they have 3 members there already, and they should be gone before XLB is anywhere close. So another objective secured, and one that can translate into a big amount of gold in favor of whoever they want it for.
I want to check back in on these this jungle matchup so far, because we've seen both junglers really trading blows. It feels like we're in a little bit of a boxing match here, as XLB was able to find some responses early on. He has definitely been hovering down this bot side a lot, and we can see that both teams really have a lot of focus and stock in this bottom lane, as he's going to come down here now to help out Photic and ppgod just in case Shadow is around. As you do see, though, LGD are quick to pull the trigger on team plays, and here they come. Weaver's wall is available. Shadow can get the engage. They've already gotten the glacial augment as well. Fearness, they're not even going to use it. Okay, there's the Weaver's wall to come in, cut off the exit, and they are stuck. Photic has to flash. They've already lost ppgod, and Photic will die as well. That's a double kill for Assum.
So well played coming out from LGD there. The wall from Shadow waits to make sure there's the perfect opportunity, and importantly, he makes sure that it's going to be used while the engages come onto ppgod. ppgod not going to be able to use that W to get over it. Photic does flash at the end. The Crocodile is there to shut him down, and then they throw the Herald down bot. All that gold for the Kalista. Just perfect play, in all honesty. And I think that's the thing, is that we talked about before, durability change, going for those 4-man dives in the bot lane is more difficult, but when Photic and ppgod are overextended like that, really ends up being vulnerable. And I have to question XLB.
Oh my goodness. Really. Rish in some trouble up here against G. I was about to say, G is just a G. He literally has been covering 2 lanes up here. Like, he was in mid lane taking the farm while they were making the play bot. He was able to respond in time against Rich. We'll take a look at that play, but at this point, I know I was just talking about top lane, but ppgod and Photic have to be scratching their heads saying, why are there 4 people in my lane at all times?
But you have to expect this, right? And I feel like, you know, they had the support to crush the wave. Either XLB left too early or V5 overstayed, the bot lane overstayed. But either way, they didn't have any right to be there, especially when you know Renekton's roaming down. And it was clear that the fact that XLB was there showed they knew it was a potential vulnerability, and yet they still end up getting caught out. More kills towards Assum, and Assum is going to be so far ahead of this Senna now. Super powerful, and the team could just continue to play around Assum on this Kalista. Look to potentially pick up some plates. It's still only just coming up to 11 minutes. There is time to get some plates on this top tower as well if they want to.
This is the LPL, baby. 11 minutes in. We got a 3K gold lead for LGD. We got 9 kills on the board. Nowhere else I feel like you get the craziness that we get here, but this is why we love it. And look at the amount of difference, I guess, that we get.
Like, I know it's a fasting Senna, but when you have the Tahm and the Senna, like both on the bottom of the gold at like 3.2k, and Assum, he's okay. It's not quite. I'm not gonna exaggerate, but he is like closed in on having double both of their gold, right? I don't think he'll hit it at this point, but it's kind of crazy. He's already completed his mythic. Fearness on the Renekton as well, doing a fantastic job. Has the Gore Drinker, and again, this is when the Renekton is going to be strong in these sort of early mid skirmishes. That is where he really has the prowess before he starts to fall off. So, oh, XLB will dodge away. But you can see JinJiao and Shadow working together as this unit, looking for these opportunities, and they may look top once more.
They just feel unlocked at this point. You're perfectly fine sticking Yaji at a side lane and keeping him there. Dream has nothing to say now. He's not going to be this threat coming out of mid lane because he is stuck dealing with the side lane now as well. And that means that LGD, with the strength that they have, can just keep pushing up the pressure. But XLB up here to relent a little bit on that. Maybe see if they can pick something up. That is where V5 have found some of their successes, are when LGD overextend or go a little bit aggressive on their trades. As JinJiao will circle around here. Shadow not able to land the seismic shove there, but there's the Dawning Shadow across. XLB getting a lot of his health bar chunked out. There's Cannon Barrage too. They're using everything here. They want to catch that LGD, but Assum, he finally dies. XLB gets the kill here. Root does connect. Fearness coming in with the Dominus, but not going to find anything there. Backs off. V5 strike back.
And you see how different it is when Fearness isn't initially there, and they also have the support of XLB. The support of Rich's ultimate allows them to turn things around. Rich also takes that window to use the Demolish, get a plate mid. So, you know, you're just saying it was a 3,000 gold lead, 1,000 off that clawed back by V5, and importantly enough, Assum the one who ends up getting shut down. So LGD losing some momentum here. And you can see the play, right? JinJiao spots the Wukong and knows, okay, maybe we don't want to go for this. But V5 feel confident. The root connects. JinJiao does interrupt the follow-up from ppgod. Then he's caught in the mix. And then as soon as the ult is used to save him, the Wukong shifts onto Assum. And a Divine Sundra being finished for the Monkey, really doing so much damage.
3-0 now for XLB as well. Really a driving force in this game. But the thing is, we said it from the draft, it's a scaling aspect for V5. You wait until that later part of the game. And yes, early advantages are very nice, but you got to make sure to stay in the game long enough to really see your win condition come to fruition there. As Shadow does not want that to happen. He himself not getting any kills so far, but a facilitator for the rest of the team. Sitting at 0-0-5. LGD will be starting up the next dragon, to be the second dragon of the game for them.
And I think it's really important that they are looking to stack these dragons, get them on the board so you can have an earlier soul win condition. Fortunately, it is going to be a Cloud Soul. I feel like they would have, any other soul would have been preferred in this situation. A lot of people have slammed on Cloud Soul. I think there's definitely times where it's really powerful. But here, LGD wants something with a lot of combat power that's going to be able to help them out. You know, Cloud Soul movement speed, not exactly that useful on the Kalista. Who obviously, it's more about your tier of boots in terms of your dash distance. So, you know, not the ideal circumstance for LGD, but they will look to continue that early momentum. And something to be said, as much as we talk about the scaling elements of V5, Gangplank is down in this matchup against the Azir. The Azir, of course, something that will scale up to be really relevant. And the Senna being behind can end up putting you in an uncomfortable position. You know, you can fall behind in terms of levels in the mid game. Quite frequently happens. I've seen games so far this split where fasting Senna can be, you know, 3 levels down in the enemy AD carry if the enemy AD carry has an early lead. It's always going to be down in gold because you are fasting. And as a result, it can take a long time before you really feel relevant in a game.
And as another result, it also means you don't really have priority to make decisions. on the Rift. And that means LGD have that priority, which you've seen in the objective control they've been able to accomplish in this game so far, I think. And you see V5 as well realize the position they're in. They're kind of trading off here, trying to go for the bottom lane tower. The Shadow's looking top, and Rich as well is in some trouble here. He does use the cannon barrage, gets out, nicely done. It's a rock thrown to his face there, but is able to survive and tail the tail for another day. Meanwhile, V5 did get the tower down bottom. They are potentially losing some pressure mid lane. They're still trying top lane here as Rift Herald now going to be dropped. They're looking for the brick of the tower. Rich taking another pretty heavy trade against Fearness, but here comes Shadow as well. Rich, you're in some trouble here, buddy. You might be dead. And there's the smite coming out. Shadow gets the kill. The tower will fall as well.
Only so much you can do in that situation. Rich wasn't getting any assistance to help him out. The Herald even meaning that it clearing the wave wouldn't do anything. They had something to tank it up. And ultimately, you saw some of the difficulties that I was kind of talking about in draft with this Renekton Taliyah combo into the Gangplank. The fact that he can use the oranges to cleanse the stun and then walk out of the seismic shove, which is possibly a reason why they did end up going for this swap. Not going to be able to find as much pressure on that top lane matchup. But ultimately, they do get the dive in the end. They do get the tower. With V5 trading back, they're still quite comfortable in this game. 2,500 is about the lead. That isn't too much of a problem considering how rough things were looking at times in the early game.
Exactly. Yeah, I think you'll be fine. The biggest worry for me right now is that dragon stacking. Again, you were talking about the Cloud Soul. Still think it's important for the squad as well for a lot of the engages, right? You put the Reaver's Wall, things like that. But the fact of the matter is, right, it's LGD with a lot of priority around the map, and it's V5 trying to pick up the pieces where they can. I still want to highlight XLB because he's been, the brightest point so far in this specific game for V5, and it's going to need to continue to happen, right? He's going to need to look for these flanks, these angles. Rich himself also has a lot to say as the GP is going to be stacking up, but you see, it's going to take a little bit of time here, and LGD, while are still on a clock, need to look for those plays, need to look for those picks that they have been able to find so far.
And this is when things get a bit trickier and you really are tested as a team. I feel like a lot of teams in the LPL to find those early leads, what you do with them from here, that is the big question. And importantly enough, they use that Herald. In the top lane, they don't have it to crack the mid-tier one, but they're putting a lot of effort into trying to make it happen here and now.
They do hit the outer towers, so that'll be all outer towers taken by LGD. Use the tower there as well to keep some pressure up in the mid lane while they all reset seemingly. And that'll mean we have a little bit more time as the resets come out for the dragon. That'll be spawning in a minute's time. That would be sole point for LGD. V5, if they want to hold off, they still have some time to fight back against that soul stacking, but you would want to kind of put a wrench at it here, all right? Extend that timer for 5 more minutes there, Alex.
Yeah, they're going to contest the vision. They can contest this, as you said. They don't need to. They can give it over. And honestly, I'm going to say at this game as well, you can even give over Soul, I think, in this matchup. Specifically Cloud Soul for LGD, I don't think it does that much. The main thing is it means Elder will be online quite early. But I think V5 will probably look to fight this. Maybe not this dragon, but at least to prevent the Soul. And they're all looking for JinJiao here, but the chains won't connect. They have control of the area, and now it's on LGD to push in and try and contest.
They look to be catching out V5 here. Emperor's Divide available if, G wants to pull the trigger on that one. A lot of engage tools for LGD, while V5 kind of have to hope for picks, hope for little catch-outs, maybe an Abyssal Dive here or there. But look at this. This is exactly what I wanted to see. XLB needs to get on the flanks. The Wukongs that we've seen, he's so terrifying. It needs to happen this game for V5. He's setting it up, but he will be on vision if he comes around the corner. That LGD playing it safe and sound, realizing they don't need to force anything here.
Yeah, and there's a great ward in the Raptor camp as well, so really no opportunity for XLB to find his way in without being spotted out. Does have the flash and a W though, so if the fight starts, can maybe join quick enough to go undetected. But you can see Shadow is trying to cover the flank here. Both top laners have joined and they have spotted him, so now full information. Mid-lit wave has been pushed in, so V5 starting up the dragon.
Here comes Assum. 3,000 health on the dragon. Who's gonna pull the trigger first? Dragon getting a little bit low. Will the dragon go down? It's taken by Assum. LGD get the soul point. The fight afterwards is going V5's way though. Fate's call brings them out of harm's way, and they dip, dive, duck, and dodge. LGD get out.
Yeah, don't opt to go for the fight. They do have a decent amount of strength to try and spike the Kalista big, but don't want to risk it. They got the objective they want. They back away. JinJiao has the Kalista to keep him safe, and they end up getting exactly what they want. 3 dragons in the bag now 4.5 minutes until that soul fight, and V5 we're trying to find a window, but ultimately it's a rough smite from both sides. You know, the Q, and then the smite comes in from Shadow, and it's Assum who finishes off.
Fearness. Well, you know, you blink and you'll miss it. Fearness is gone.
Yeah, so I think what V5 have been doing good this game is how they've played around side lanes. Often, when LGD were trying to group up mid and force that tower, or trying to make plays in the top lane, Dream was pushing sides, picking up the tower himself, has now just stacked here with Rich and being able to pick up the kill there. The problem is, Yeji just isn't stopping and has managed to take this tier 2, a big influx of gold for the Azir, so ends up getting punished by LGD. And I think that's the main thing that's been positive for LGD. Whenever V5 have tried to make something happen, LGD even sure they've got something in return.
Yeah, we see in the picture down there, Fearness, you know, opting into that trade, not expecting the TP from Dream. But Dream's always got his teammates' backs. See that trade go down. V5 were able to secure a little bit for themselves. But now, you know, we were talking about LGD being on a bit of a timer. I want to see if V5 can really turn it up here at some point, right? We're past the 20-minute mark. We're down a little bit in farm, but I still feel like you've been able to be stable across the board. And I really want to see, you know, the reason why they were so confident in picking this Senna Tahm Kench, the scaling aspect of that come to fruition here as they try to press up this mid tower.
Yeah, and it's difficult to defend, especially with barrels like that. Triforce and collective finish for Rich, and he does so much damage to Shadow, and kind of flexing some of the muscles that will come online for V5 later on. Now, Edgy's going to defend top, and XLB is leaning in the area, but he should just be able to pick up this wave safely. 2 minutes 45 on that Dragon. We'll have to see what V5 can do to try and mitigate this. Again, I've hit on it plenty of times this game. I don't feel like the Dragon is too significant, the soul itself, but the fight absolutely will be. If a team wins a fight at this point, both of them have a ton of DPS, can easily translate that into a Baron if they have enough members alive after it. So could be a pivotal point in this game.
Can I just say, though, like a novelty fact for me is that we've literally had, you know, G just take the place of a top laner in this game. We've literally barely seen him on our screen. He got an Emperor's Divide earlier. Like, in the team fights, it'll be really important. But it's just so funny to me to always see these, like, very squishy, you know, assassin-based mid laners in the side lane not being a center focus anymore in the meta, or at least in this game, rather. And I do love to see it. It's just a little fun fact to me.
Yeah, and I think one thing to be said is that with all the grouping LGD has done, he's actually fallen behind in farm. Remember, he came out of lane with this CS lead, so this Gangplank being able to get massive. We did just see in the picture Shadow got his flash burn by Rich, so Rich really making a lot happen in that regard. And
they're going for the engage. The TP's coming in as well. The Devour came out already. Photic is safe. Now on the back, though, Dream tries to go in. Rich gets blocked off by the Weaver's wall there. Nicely done. LGD still trying to chase them down. Fate's call came out. Dreadblind connected there, but they've gotten flanked by Dream. They had to back off. Dawning Shadow comes across. Decent amount of damage across the board. Rich chasing down Fearness on the side. LGD need to get out, but XLB goes straight in. He gets obliterated for it, though. Now ppgod gets on the engage, but can't do it. Photic gets taken out by Assum. ppgod is all by himself in the backline of LGD. Fearness is trying to take a 1v2 and survives. ppgod left out to dry, and you'll be having some fried catfish tonight. Fearness picks up the kill. LGD come out on top again.
And V5 felt like with the ultimate from the GP and the Senna, this would be enough. This would be enough damage for them to follow up and make the plays, but they overcommit. XLB steps too far. LGD answer. Now they're looking for the Baron. Remember, jungle not available, but the Kalista Ren should make it easy to secure. But Rich is looking to play interruption. Dream TPing in as well.
This could be it. You got the flanks. You got a little bit of damage. Yeah, G very, very low. He goes golden. He gets faded a little bit. The cannon. Oh my God, the barrels. The barrels! Dream is taking him out. V5. Okay, Assum at least gets the Baron here. Fearness goes down. Assum's gonna go down as well. Can't even pick up Rich. It is catastrophe for LGD.
That Gangplank damage was insane, and that's why it's so scary in this situation. The GP and the LeBlanc, two pretty rough champions to try and do a Baron against when you're on that low HP. LGD make the flip, and yes, they secure the objective, but they lose, I think, all the buffs. I think Shadow was the first to respawn, and I think everyone just ended up losing it, so they don't even get to keep the buff. The dragon's going to go over. And remember, objective bounties. You can see a tower picked up mid, a tower picked up top, and this dragon picked up. So a ton of gold coming in. Oh, another objective bounty. Look at the gold.
It's
We've
all
just gone
evened
from
up.
that massive lead. They're 1,000 gold apart now.
Oh my goodness. And it all starts out looking so good for LGD. They pull the trigger on the TP. They get the cooldowns out. They have, you know, a flank behind them after this chokehold fight, but they're able to come out of it even with all the utilizations of ultis from V5. And then they overstep. They get caught with their hand in the cookie jar, Rocks.
Yeah, and I mean, LGD get low, and XLP just oversteps, thinking he can find that kill. So hard to engage onto the likes of this Azir and Kalista. They can make so much space. ppgod does get that kill onto Shadow, which obviously does make a bit of difference. Would have liked to have that smite here, but here he actually knows that the sigil comes in, it'll kill him. So he stopwatches with that barrel chain. Look at the damage on the Assum. JinJiao gets taken out, but you've chunked the Kalista now. They know if they lose the Baron as well, it's doomed, but we don't get to look at the replay.
We don't. Dream goes in on the side, almost gets taken out. Cannon Barrage has been utilized by Rich, though. V5 need to get out of there as stacks are building. Rich and XLB on the side here with the barrels, not going to connect. The tower comes out from Yaji. LGD do make it out alive. Close call, though.
And the thing is, though, you know, it's still a minor goal lead for LGD, but I am starting to get really concerned. Rich is hitting critical mass. We've seen how strong he is right now. We also have... sorry, you know how it shows the items?
Yeah,
because
it showed it in
Yeji and Fearness. It looked like Fearness had built a demonic embrace, and I was like, huh. But no, it's Yeji's finished that one. But going back to my point, Rich, 3 items, super strong, and he's going to keep getting stronger in this game. He is being such a problem in these fights. And Fearness looks like he's just trying to 1v1 with XLB here, but ultimately the fact that Rich turns up means you have to just get away from the situation.
Yeah, the armor shred and the damage coming up, the chase down potential. Also, you know, doesn't hurt to have the collector for Rich to clean up some crocodilians there. Big picks from V5. And that's kind of been the story of the take here for V5, right? We've been seeing consistently they were getting shoved around, maybe bullied a little bit by LGD in the early parts of the game, but it was consistent that they were finding picks. The side lane picks, especially, were huge for V5, and we're seeing those picks continue here, even into the scaling aspects.
And I think, though, what is scary is the fact that at this point, think of Photic. He's so low on gold, but the value he gets is from souls. So if you're even in terms of gold top of the screen, I think V5 are happy with that. If it feels like they are ahead as a result, and you can see Photic doing a decent amount of damage there. Still 2 minutes until that potential Cloud Soul, but I don't think it drastically changes the state of team fights. And V5 feeling more confident, pushing up, constantly threatening on these flanks. And LGD are just being corralled in, having to play defensive in these situations. It feels like the game has gone out of control. And the question is going to be how they can regain it.
That's such a cool progression, though. It feels like we're watching an anime arc unfold in front of us, right? V5 were getting pushed around the rift, not having confidence in place. Now they're the ones that are pressing up into the enemy jungle, trying to look for picks. And it's just that adaptation to your win conditions here. And they're going to keep pushing this side lane until LGD can respond to them.
Yep, keep applying that pressure. We see that LGD went for, you know, some deeper vision in the top side of the map, but realistically, the dragon is spawning sooner. You'd think they'd want to lean that side, and now V5 applying some pressure. Yeji is going to be able to defend. They're going to get control of this bot side jungle here, and it's going to make it very difficult for Shadow to push in and try and contest vision to contest this dragon. It's one of these situations where V5 is so far from a soul, it's not really a problem if LGD don't get it. But still, just it delays their potential soul for even longer. Now they have grouped up at 5 to push in. Resets come in from V5 to get some new wards, and that does mean there's a potential window to contest some of that dragon vision. But it looks like Shadow is more concerned about the top side of the map.
Yeah, and I can appreciate the resets coming out from V5 just to make sure they're all strengthened up for this fight. As you had said earlier, though, I mean, if worse comes to worse, they could give up the soul. It's not that big of a deal, but we're in the LPL. We don't do that, all right? That's not in our
I mean, the
vocabulary.
game's on a clock. I feel like you can't be waiting too much. Ultimately, Photic feeling super confident with the Tahm there.
I love this setup, though, as well. They're trying to get this priority in mid lane. Dream almost gets engaged on there. That was so close. Fearness getting the Scuttle Crab, setting up the vision here, but now he's got 2 members on him. Cannon Barrage in mid lane. V5 pulled the trigger here. Fate's Call has to be used, but Assum, he's going straight to the enemy team here. He has to back away. Fate's Call just go out defensively, and LGD have to back away, probably giving up this dragon here.
Yeah, the health bars are too low, and looks like they might just have to give this one. Again, it doesn't really change things. It's not like this Cloud Dragon's going to suddenly make V5 super strong, but there is a timer on this game. LGD ideally would want to already have Soul now and be trying to flip at Elder, and if they get that, they can win the game. But as time goes on, it's going to get harder and harder. Rich is closing in on level 18, and having that Infinity Edge at 4-item GP is going to do so much work in this game. And it goes without saying, Renekton really not as much of a threat at this point of the game. Kalista has peaked already in this one. I don't think you win that, Fearness. I would not go for it.
You don't think so, huh? That parlay did like a lot of damage. I like a lot of damage, but they're TP. They're trying to play Rich as Fearness himself has been played against multiple times. Yeah, G might have gotten overextended here, though. Uses Emperor's Divide, but Fearness can't really do anything. Yeah, G flashes straight to the rest of the team. Oh, no. And tragedy continues to strike for LGD, but they want to turn it around. They get the engage on a ppgod. Dawning Shadow comes across, though. XLP on the side, Rich there as well. You got to watch those barrels. Doesn't connect the first one there as XLP on the side fighting with Fearness. Looks like V5 choose to back away from this one. LGD survive another day.
Yeah, I mean, it just feels like they don't have the damage, especially with Yeji, the best scaling element going down. Have to back away, and they wanted to make the play onto Rich, wanted to find that window. They do get his flash at least, but Yeji just caught between a rock and a hard place. And yeah, we'll get a replay of that one. You can see the parlay, especially with that low Dom's, doing a fair bit of damage to Fearness, but he knows he has the backup coming in. But if you look at the map, the prior has been achieved by the bot lane. XLB is already there. The bot lane's there to follow. The dash gets interrupted by Yeji, so he can't connect the ult onto Rich, and then the backup from the rest of the team comes.
Yeah, it just feels so bad, right? Like, I don't think you're getting out of that one either way. Hey, but the, flash right into the face of two enemy members walking down your way doesn't feel good for Yaji. See if LGD can pull it off, though, as they've grouped up. They've gotten an engage. They're getting Yaji over here.
My God.
But they're in trouble. The scaling aspect might just have come to online here for V5 because they do not do damage. LGD have to back away. Now the barrels are coming in, and the doom is reigned for LGD. V5 actually putting up a little bit of a struggle here against the rest of LGD. Assum and Yaji able to put some decent damage back. The Devour comes out, and now it's ppgod that gets taken out. Shadow's still alive over here. LGD are TPing in, and the carousel keeps on turning. Fearness is there, but he's getting chunked now as V5 and the rest of the team are trying to get out of this one. It's a flash. It's Fearness going forward. It's Stream potentially going down here. Yaji dies to Photic somehow, and there goes Dream down to the dust with LGD taking him out.
What a chaotic fight. Honestly, looked like it was going in favor of V5, but then we see LGD find the turnaround. The TP coming in from Fearness, and now they're committing onto this Baron note. XLB does not have Smite available.
We saw this happen last time. Did not go LGD's favor. There's one barrel to the face.
Oh my lord,
and Fearness is already out. Shadow gets chunked by Rich's parlay as well. Rich is a beast right now, and LGD can't tame him.
Yeah, Rich is having the most fun in this game. In question mark things coming out from LGD. I get how I feel as well. But Rich is having the most fun in this game. JinJiao goes to this engage, quickly realizes that he will take a ton of damage, and then we see the follow-up start to come in. And I kind of just want to highlight Rich's play here. The first barrel chain ends up connecting. Look at that damage coming out. Massive there. We get the longer engage, and XLB, he ends up getting chunked out, uses stopwatch to buy time, and it's ppgod sacrificing his life to save him. Never lean a man behind. But watch Rich here, okay? So he stacks up the barrel, and then he autos the barrel into parlay to basically do 80% of Yeji's health. Absolutely disgusting damage.
He chased him down. I was wondering how he got him. It was a flash over the wall chasing into Yeji. And honestly, at this point, we're just going to keep fighting because Dream has now been caught out by LGD, which gives them the priority. Yeji gets about half his health taken out to try and do Baron. They can't do it. Dude, Rich is literally just playing a retro arcade game at this point, watching the numbers pop up on his screen.
you know, rookie not on this roster, Rich just said, I need to be him. I need to be the 1v9 machine, and he is doing it right now this game. LGD, you can't do this.
They can't do it. The TP is available to come in, but they can't get it. Oh my god, the damage there. XLB, he gets obliterated. Rich gets Fearness though. XLB makes it out for just a little bit longer. Emperor's Divide from G changes the fight though. XLB is the only one left for V5. He's going to be able to survive a little bit longer, but that was a triple kill for Assum.
Yeji comes in huge with the TP flank, gets the shuffle in. Assum with the cleanup now. LGD have Kalista Rend, and they should have Smite available for Shadow. I can't see if it's up and available, but they will play Interruption on XLB. Yeah, the Smite was there. The Rend is to follow. No real chance to steal. LGD getting a massive reward on that one. We can see the picture. Dream just caught sleeping. Fantastic pick from Shadow. And now LGD, it's later than they like, but they should be able to pick up the soul as well.
And that's a huge series of events for LGD, going from getting the Baron to now getting the soul and setting out potentially for this Elder Dragon fight in 6 minutes. That's a long time, though. That'd be a 40+ minute game if we get to that point. But LGD, again, we were talking about V5 finding picks all game long, but that pick on Dream was gigantic. Colossal. Any of those words you want to choose, because that means LGD felt confident to take the fight afterwards. Yeah, G, with the TP behind, backing off with sub like 1,000 health and coming in at the last moment with that huge Emperor's Divide. This is the kind of stuff that makes LGD scary.
Yeah, and they're still fishing for these opportunities. Assum's level 16, 2 levels up on Photic. Photic still looking to catch up. Now, there is a good amount of wave clear, especially if Rich pairs up with them. But for now, they're just holding off the siege from LGD. Rich is pushing the side, and LGD want to see what they can do with this Baron. They should be able to take this tier 2 quite comfortably. The big question is, can they start to crack the base towers? Getting it. Oh my lord!
Oh, Photic, you have no health bar anymore. The Weaver's Wall, and then the smite to kill him. He just gave his life. Shadow just gave up everything for the kill of the Photic. Yeah, G gets killed by the cannon barrage as well. And now V5 might find some more picks under the tower. Assum is trying his darndest here. Look at the kiting. XLB, he has to get devoured there. Assum trying to get away, trying to actually take this play though. Can he get it? He's chasing them down, but XLB does have the GA. Assum realizes with the TP, he needs to get out of there. Himself having the GA available. The Abyssal Dive coming forward. Rich, they need to catch out Assum. He's 8-3 here. This would be a big shutdown for Rich, who is already ridiculously fed.
The timing there from Rich. He doesn't miss. And ultimately, Assum doing so much work there, buying so much time. The kiting was flawless, but the engage came in for V5. LGD overstepping, Shadow going too deep, and now the Baron is gone. The gold is even. And the LGD have lost their advantage. We see Photic. Look at this damage from the Taliyah, by the way. And then he goes in, and ppgod is trying to be ready to gobble him, but the smite catches him off guard. They do turn it around quickly with the base from Dream, and then it just ends up getting so chaotic. Yeji killed by the collector there from the GP with the ultimate. And yeah, it's manic, but something to bear in mind is Rich got that shutdown on Assum. He is full build right now. Level 18. Gangplank is insanely strong, and we can kind of hone in the next 2 objectives. Baron is in 3 minutes, but the more important one is that Elder is going to be coming up about the same time, and whoever has control of the area will make such a big difference. If you're walking into barrels, LeBlanc poke, Wukong flank, it is going to be a hard time for LGD. And although they have the soul, the extra movement speed, they are now down in gold. But to be honest, gold isn't really the major factor here as people are approaching their full builds.
They are, and that's what the biggest factor is. 3 minutes till the Elder Dragon. That is a game-winning objective, but also what could be game-winning is a quick pick onto one of the members of either of these teams, honestly, at this point, because we are in an official banger, almost 39 minutes in. We've got 37 kills to boot, and it is just a tight filter against both these teams, waiting for the next big thing to pop up, right? Like, we still have a long time until the next objective comes up, so what's really going to happen here is somebody getting picked out or an engage getting kicked off, Aux.
Yeah, a lot of burst on the Yeji, but with that demonic embrace, he does have a fair amount of HP, so Dream doesn't find the chain on the back end, can't connect. Remember, Dream doesn't quite have a Rabadon's finished yet. Still waiting for that last item, but it is getting very scary. One misstep, there is so much burst in this game. Even with the durability changes, still a lot of burst. I think it's kind of showing why it was needed, but anyone mispositioning will just be caught out and potentially pop. Now, Photic level 15 has gone for the support item, the Ward Stone, that gives extra percentage AD essentially. So can work quite well with Senna, who obviously gets so much free AD from the souls. I'd love to be able to see how many souls Photic is on right now. Should presumably quite a lot. And with that rapid fire in inventory, the range is really significant.
I think that's the important part here. It's like thinking of
162.
I was about to say at the beginning of the game, we did pan out, right? This is V5 scaling option here. This is what they wanted when they came through with this draft. And those souls are starting to get real scary. Even if Photic does get, you know, shredded like a piece of paper, is sometimes if he can find that range, if he can find those pickoffs, that's what's huge with the Senna pick in general. We'll see V5 pushing in this top side. They'll get a tier 2 tower as well for themselves.
Yeah, so using that opportunity to get the tower, some extra gold, not going to be complained about. But now Rich looking towards the mid lane. Those crits are big. The LGD doing everything they can to get control of the mid lane. They want to move into the dragon area and make sure they have vision. It's a minute until the Elder. Both teams posturing. It could all just come down to this.
It could. The engage comes out for JinJiao. You got the TP coming in now as well. If the rest of LGD want to take the fight. Dream goes in with a huge trade on Assum. The shield bow is gone now. ppgod has to back away himself, though, because he doesn't have a health bar. And V5, it's just so close. It's just everybody trading blows, but nobody going down.
Importantly enough, Assum can heal up off the wave, and it is still LGD who have control of the area. They're going to push up mid to try and get the inhibitor. I'm not sure I'm a fan of this. I feel like, you know, the inhibitor is not going to do too much for you right now. You want control off the neutral objectives. They aren't even going to get the inhibitor now. Potentially going to get caught out. Photic's got so much range.
Speed is the name of the game. The Abyssal Dive coming in. The Cannon Barrage as well. Dream on the backside here. But LGD might want to just go back forward. The Emperor's Divide gets 3 backwards. And Assum, that's huge. Rich's combo. Now Photic is in the backline, free hitting. He's literally at full health this entire time. The rest of LGD really can't put up with it as Photic is helping take the rest of the team. Dream is buying time by kiting, and V5 are chasing them down. Shadow tries to get the elimination there on the rest of V5, but they can't do it. Elder Dragon is on the board here for V5, but I don't know if they have the confidence.
Yeah, there's going to be some sustain for the Senna, and Dream is going to recall and TP back in. They need to stop Shadow from getting a smite here. 4v2, he shouldn't be able to get close.
So tense. Oh, they're going to back off. I was hoping for something close, but it will be Elder Dragon secured for V5 after a heck of a fight, even after they lost Rich.
And I think with that, they can head straight over to the Baron and look to take that one as well. With both objectives, pushing should be a breeze. And importantly enough, with this composition, Photic has such long range, they can get damage onto the towers. Some shorter range comps can struggle to siege. V5 should be able to do it. This Baron will be theirs. And I just have to question LGD going for the mid inhib. Not the play.
It was not the play indeed. Didn't get it. Now they lose 2 major objectives. 2 minutes left on the Elder Dragon buff, 3 minutes on the Baron buff, and V5 have everything they could have asked for. As we look into that fight, it's a good call from Rich to start off with the Cannon Barrage, and they just chase them down.
Yeah, I mean, they overstep. They finally get Shadow and Fearness joining in, and it's a big shuffle from Genji that actually does result in the GP going down. But as you said, Photic free hitting, that huge range coming in and paying dividends. This is the late game scaling they were looking for from the Senna finally hit. It took a while, but at this point, unless someone gets on top of you, you just outrange every champion in this game right now, and it's such a pain to deal with.
It is indeed. You're seeing the pain unfold right in front of you. Another tower will go down for V5. They have officially tied up the tower game here, and it's still going to be huge, as well as the fact that, you know, they have found themselves in the driver's seat right when their composition is coming online. We're 40, I guess not right when it's coming online, but when it's coming online, because we're 43.5 minutes in with this Baron buff as well. It's going to be so much easier to put the siege down. We'll check in on their side lanes, though, and it looks like you're going to have to back off because of the setup.
I said they'll be able to siege. Honestly, it feels like the wave clear from LGD is so severe. It's so difficult with the Azir there. And they obviously don't really want to go for a dive in this situation. V5 aren't going to relent, though, but it's 40 seconds on the Elder. Once the Elder is gone, that does open up a bit more room for LGD contest to fight, but really, they just want to clear waves for now. And you see how quickly even these melee minions are getting shredded through. Photic does get a couple of autos onto the tower, though, so it is losing health, but not nearly enough. They have a minute 20 on the Baron, but the Elder gone soon.
It is indeed. That's that fighting power that LGD will be happy to be gone with and done dealing with, at least until the next iteration of the Elder Dragon. If we get there, we get 2 Elder Dragons here. I don't know. I'm scratching my head a little bit. We do have V5 coming to the bot lane here, trying to push down this next inhib tower. And it looks like they will have the pressure to do so. They might even just get the engage after. They still have some time. Okay, Elder Dragon just fell off as well as the fight starting off. They already got the GA here of XLB. The Cannon Barrage used as well. A lot of cooldowns, but you still got to watch the barrels. And JinJiao gets a ton of health taken out. They still have the Baron for 40 seconds here. They're looking at another inhib tower. Weaver's Wall comes out, though, from Shadow to do some damage here on the exit. They do get the tower, though, itself, and that's the important objective. What about getting out, though? ppgod gets Seismic shoved backwards. The rest of V5 there to help them out, and Dream going with the kiting and the damage there. Fearness, you're kind of stuck there, buddy. But they do pull out the Shuriva Tower. Not going to find anything. Dream is still being such a menace here, and V5 can continue sieging.
Yeah, they should be able to get this inhibitor if they want to. LGD doing everything they can to defend, but it's so difficult. That big stack wave bot allowing them to crack the base, and I think V5 happy if they can get 2 inhibs here. The cannon should... Oh, so the Baron times out! I don't think he gets the inhib!
No! Okay, all right. Well, I will say... I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed right now, Aux. I thought this was the LPL. You see those small health bars on an inhib, you go for it, right?
Man,
you go
45 minutes is a different beast. At this point of the game, everyone is so scared. There's so much burst flying around. It really puts you in an awkward position. Everyone is liable just to get completely blown up. We see Photic actually going for the GA to round out his build here, so a bit of extra safety. But at this point, it's like so easy just to pop someone. And I'm going to say, right, certain champions are enjoying this a lot more than others. Fearness Renekton definitely feeling like he's peaked long ago, peaked in high school, I guess we could say. Whereas Photic, he is living his best life right now with all those stacks that have come in. I will say Yeji's build, not the biggest fan, because he's lacking a Void Staff and a Rabadons at this point of the game. Obviously, we'll have to forego one of them unless he switches to Night Out. And he has opted to be the one to apply the grievous wounds, but yeah, I feel like V5 are in a prime position here.
We have the utmost honor. We have the utmost pleasure to display to you the longest game of the summer split so far, as we have crested. Hey, you know what? We're gonna take the dubs that we get, all right? Because we're past the 46-34 mark.
I casted one of the previous longest games of the split. Day 1 was the longest game. It was the shortest game of the split.
No way.
Yeah, crazy that, man.
That's crazy. That's results-based analysis.
That is results-based analysis. This is a long one, though. It's a proper battle. It's the gold lead. I'm not even going to talk about it anymore. It's irrelevant. But we do see LGD looking to close out those final builds. But look how hard it is for them to try and leave the base here. V5 keeping them trapped in. I think we got to... I'm not sure quite what the soul count is on Senna now. I'm assuming it's surpassed 200 at this point. The range, like 800 plus on your normal autos, the rapid-fire autos, kind of ridiculous. So yeah, it's hard. It is hard for LGD at this point. You don't pick Renekton and hope that the game goes to... You don't pick Kalista and hope that the game goes to 47 minutes, but here we are.
Here we are, baby. But in all actuality, that scaling is going to be fun. The thing is, though, you were talking about it earlier, right? Everybody's so scared because even in a durability patch, when everybody's on full items, people just cease to exist sometimes. And one catch out means an almost minute death timer, means that your team is without you. Let's see what LGD can pull off here as they've used the Weaver's Wall aggressively, but can't find an engage. Dream waiting. Does a chunk of damage against Fearness there. Big dredge life, but XLB on the side with the Emperor's Divine. Doesn't mean much, though. You have to watch Photic. Photic is still free firing on the side. He has scaled to infinity, but you cannot turn your face away from LGD's damage. Yaji will be really tough to deal with. Assum will be really tough to deal with. And both teams realize the stake of things here and back off of a fight 48.5 minutes in.
And look at the damage at the bottom of the screen. Both teams doing over 10k in that short fight. But it's LGD who managed to secure the kill. ppgod is down. I'm going to be honest. I don't think he's the biggest concern, but TP coming in, they're looking to find a new angle.
They're caught out. LGD know this is the Alamo at this point. This is where they have to make their stand. JinJiao doesn't have a health bar. This is going to be so tough when V5 are coming in full guns blazing.
They need Yeji.
They're going to TP Yeji here. They have the Emperor's Divide coming up very shortly, but they don't have it just yet. It is a scary tussle. Fearness is on the side. Dream has found a flank. We got chaos all over. Fearness not going to pull the trigger to go over the wall. He goes down. Emperor's Divide. It misses everybody. And LGD, they've actually turned into dust as the rest of V5 are trying to take them out. Photic is still untouched. Photic, the first team, all-team ADC from spring 2022, picks up a double kill, and V5 clean house on LGD.
It's gonna go over 50 minutes, but V5 are gonna put an end to the game, and it was a double kill for Rich, a double kill for Photic. Those scaling elements coming in clutch, and Yeji tries for the hero play, but it's flashed away from by the enemy Senna. And a heartbreaker for LGD, a chance to take the game of the team who were first in the regular season of spring, but they can't stick the landing. And V5, it's a battle, it's a fight, it is a long-fought adventure, but they managed to close out that game 1.
That was an adventure. That was like Lord of the Rings in 3 parts, like 12 hours long right there.
That was the extended edition.
That was incredible stuff, but so stressful for every single one of these players. The fact that V5 are able to take them out. Photic was untouched in almost every single one of those last fights that led to the game-deciding moments. And LGD, that, as you said, it is a heartbreaker. They had so much control in that game. The Taliyah for Shadow was actually looking pretty cracked. But in the end, it's all about team cohesion. Dream himself. I know we highlighted this player at the beginning and some issues not having rookie in the mid lane, but he performed to a T on the LeBlanc. The background fights, the flanks that they were trying to pull off was huge in this one.
I mean, you got to give so much credit for LGD, because despite the fact that, you know, the Dragon Soul wasn't the best one for them, the scaling elements of the enemy team, they kept this competitive until the end. Even getting that initial kill on the Elder fight before V5 got one, but V5, they had the scaling elements, and it just felt like they understood their role in the team fights. Rich had a fantastic game throughout. Photic, there was that time where he got completely chunked mid, and then from then on, he was like, okay, I'm just going to max range. But he hit critical mass, and that's the thing with the Senna, is that, like, you have this early game that it's not as strong as Kalista, don't get me wrong, but the Senna Tahm is quite hard to push out of the lane. The mid game can be a bit rough, because you're down in gold, you're down in levels, but when you hit this point of the game, everyone's full build, you know, everyone's catching up in terms of experience, but you have the range, like 800 range autos without rapid fire. If you're not on top of him, you're just not winning the fight, it feels like. And Yeji, I just want to, you know, so many times trying to find those hero Emperor divides, and he nearly did at the end, just not quite able to make it.
It was so close. But I will say, like, in that moment, that's huge heads up from V5 to force that play, right? Like, they saw the ball getting out in front of LGD, them not able to kind of catch up to it, and they just took it and ran with it. Yeah, I mean, that gold graph is pretty incredible. I like the little island.
The gold graph,
but the damage.
But also the damage as well. I mean, you know, some of these numbers are like the numbers we see from like the main carries, the high deep damage